Words appear. A guide to voting in California. My voice, my choice, my vote. Words appear. Why vote? A woman interpreting American Sign Language in front of a blue background. Welcome to a guide to voting in California. I'm Cindy Woodrum. Why vote? It is a wonderful privilege in a democracy to have a choice and the right to voice your opinion about laws and government leaders. In the earlier days of our nation's history, voting was highly restricted. Literacy tests, gender and ethnicity limits, poll taxes, land ownership requirements, and other barriers prevented many Americans from casting ballots. People fought for many years to protect and expand voting rights to what they are today, and to make voting easy and convenient. The California Secretary of State works to register every eligible person to vote, and to make it as easy as possible for registered voters to cast ballots privately and independently. This guide describes many of the rights and responsibilities of voters and provides important information you need in order to play an active role in the electoral process. Words appear. Who can vote? Who can vote? To vote in California, you must be a resident of California, a United States citizen, 18 years of age or older on election day, not in prison or on parole for conviction of a felony, and not found by a judge to be mentally incompetent. Words appear. How do I register to vote? How do I register to vote? Voter registration forms are available in many places throughout the state. California Secretary of State's website at www.sos.ca.gov. California Secretary of State's toll-free voter hotline at 800-345-VOTE. County elections offices or city halls. Public libraries, post offices, California Department of Motor Vehicle offices, state and county social services offices, state and county mental health providers, State Department of Rehabilitation offices, independent living centers, State Department of Developmental Services regional centers, State Board of Equalization and Franchise Tax Board offices, Armed Forces recruitment offices. Fill out an official voter registration form and sign it, declaring under penalty of perjury the information you provided is true. If you have a driver's license or a California identification card, you must provide the number on the registration form. If you do not have one of those forms of identification, provide the last 4 digits of your Social Security number. If you do not have a Social Security number but are eligible to register to vote, you will be assigned a unique identifying number for voting purposes only. Mail your completed form, postage is prepaid, or hand deliver it to your county elections office. Words appear. Can I vote by mail? Can I vote by mail? Yes, any registered voter can vote by mail in California. To vote by mail, you must request a vote by mail ballot from your county elections office at least 7 days before Election Day to be eligible to vote by mail in that election. You can use the form on the sample ballot booklet you receive in the mail a few weeks before Election Day to apply for a vote by mail ballot, or send a written request to your county elections office. Your request must include your name and the address where you live, the address where you want to receive your vote by mail ballot, your signature, and name and date of the election in which you want to vote by mail. If in the 7 days before the election you find you will not be able to vote in person on Election Day, You may still request a vote by mail ballot in writing. You must deliver the ballot either in person or by someone you designate to your county elections office or any polling place in your county before 8 p.m. on Election Day. To find out if you are registered to vote by mail, call your county elections office. Words appear. Can I sign up to vote by mail permanently? Can I sign up to vote by mail permanently? Yes, you can be a permanent vote-by-mail voter and automatically receive your ballot in the mail for every election. You can cancel your permanent vote-by-mail status at any time. It will only be canceled by your county elections office if you do not vote in 2 consecutive statewide general elections. Words appear. How do I choose a political party? How do I choose a political party? You may choose to be a member of any of the qualified political parties listed on the voter registration form. Each of the political parties holds a primary election to nominate their candidates for the general election. If you do not want to be in a political party, you may mark No on the registration form where it asks, "Do you want to register with a political party?" And you will be registered as a Decline to State DTS voter. In primary elections, some political parties allow DTS voters to help choose their candidates and some do not, but DTS voters may always vote for ballot measures and candidates running for nonpartisan offices. Words appear. How do I know what will be on the ballot? How do I know what will be on my ballot? Registered voters will automatically receive the Secretary of State's official voter information guide in the mail a few weeks before Election Day. This nonpartisan guide has details on ballot measures and some candidates, including text of proposed laws, statements from supporters and opponents of ballot measures, impartial analyses of those ballot measures and potential costs to taxpayers, and other useful election information. State law also requires county elections officials to mail a sample ballot to each registered voter. Besides showing what your ballot will look like and how to vote on it, your sample ballot booklet includes information on local candidates and local measures, if there are any, the specific location of your polling place, and an application for a vote-by-mail ballot. The sample ballot booklet also includes instructions on how voters with disabilities are able to vote privately and independently, and displays the international symbol of accessibility if your polling place is accessible to voters with disabilities. The Secretary of State produces audio and large print versions of the official voter information guide to ensure voters who are blind or visually impaired have access to statewide ballot information. Guides are also printed in 6 other languages: Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Spanish, Tagalog, and Vietnamese. To order any version of these guides at no cost, call the Secretary of State's toll-free voter hotline at 800-345-VOTE or visit www.sos.ca.gov. Words appear. How do I know where to vote? How do I know where to vote? When you receive your county sample ballot booklet in the mail a few weeks before Election Day, look for your polling place on the back cover of the booklet. If you do not receive your sample ballot booklet, contact your county elections office. You can also find your polling place by calling the Secretary of State's toll-free voter hotline at 800-345-VOTE or by visiting www.sos.ca.gov. Words appear. How do I vote? How do I vote? You can vote in person at your assigned polling place on Election Day, or you can vote by mail on a vote-by-mail ballot. Voting at the polling place on Election Day. Polls are open in California from 7 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. on Election Day. Some counties also allow you to vote in person at selected locations before Election Day. When you arrive at your polling place, a poll worker will ask your name and check an official list of registered voters for that polling place. After you sign next to your name on the list, the poll worker will give you a paper ballot, unique passcode, or computer memory card, depending on the voting system your county uses. Go to a private booth and begin voting. Poll workers are there to assist voters. If you are not familiar with how to cast a ballot, ask a poll worker for instruction. If you make a mistake in marking the ballot, ask a poll worker for instructions on how to correct a mistake on the ballot. If you need to, you can ask for a new ballot and start over. State and federal laws require polling places to be physically accessible to voters with disabilities. County election officials inspect each site and often make temporary alterations to homes, libraries, garages, churches, businesses, schools, or other facilities in an effort to make them accessible to all voters on Election Day. Every person who works in a polling place on Election Day is trained on elections laws and the rights of voters with disabilities, including the need to make reasonable modifications of policies and procedures to ensure equal access. State and federal laws require that all voters be able to cast their ballots privately and independently. Some voting systems have been specifically designed with this in mind to assist voters with disabilities. Each polling place is required to have one voting machine that allows voters, including those who are blind or visually impaired, to cast a ballot without assistance. The voting machine also must permit you to privately and independently verify your vote choices. And, if there's an error, permit you to correct those choices before casting the final ballot. Voting by mail. After you mark your choices on your vote by mail ballot, put it in the official envelope provided by your county elections office and seal it. Place the proper postage on the envelope and sign the outside of the envelope as directed. Vote by mail ballots must be received by county elections offices no later than 8 o'clock p.m. on Election Day, so be sure to mail your vote by mail ballot in plenty of time. Words appear. What if I change my mind and want to vote at the polling place instead of by mail? What if I change my mind and want to vote at the polling place instead of by mail? Even if you receive your vote by mail ballot, you can change your mind and vote at your polling place on Election Day. However, you must bring your vote by mail ballot to the polling place and give it to a poll worker to exchange for a polling place ballot. If you do not have your vote by mail ballot, you will be allowed to vote on a provisional ballot, which will be counted after elections officials have confirmed that you are registered to vote and you did not already vote in that election. Words appear. Do I need to show identification when I vote? Do I need to show identification when I vote? In most cases, California voters are not required to show identification before they cast a ballot. If you are voting for the first time after registering by mail and did not provide your driver's license number, California identification number, or the last 4 digits of your Social Security number on your registration form, you may be asked to show a form of identification when you go to the polls. Make sure you bring identification with you to the polls or include a copy of it with your vote by mail ballot. For a list of the more than 30 acceptable forms of identification, contact your county elections office or visit the Secretary of State's website and look for HAVA ID regulations at www.sos.gov/elections/regs.htm. Words appear. What if my name is not on the list at the polling place? What if my name is not on the list at the polling place? There are a few possible reasons why your name is not on the list at your designated polling place. If for any reason your name does not appear on the list of registered voters at a polling place, you have the right to cast a provisional ballot, which will be counted after elections officials have confirmed that you are registered to vote and that you did not vote elsewhere in that election. The poll worker can give you information about how to check that your provisional ballot was counted and, if it was not counted, the reason why. Words appear. What if I need assistance in voting? What if I need assistance in voting? If you need help marking your ballot, you may choose up to 2 people to help you cast your vote as long as they are not your employer, your employer's agent, your labor union leader, or your labor union's agent. If curbside voting is available at your polling place, you may get as close as possible to the voting area, and elections officials will bring you a roster to sign, a ballot, and any other voting material you may need. Contact your county elections office to determine if curbside voting is available at your polling place.